kind of look like Mariah right there in that frame. What? She's
that's my girl though. That's my girl.
That's my girl.
She used to be my girl back in the day when I was little, growing up. I wanted to be that Mariah. I had that little voice that would crack a glass. It didn't last for a lot of years though.
All right, we out on the road, LA, just past Grammy weekend with Mimie Acosta. She is one of the bosses, the partners in the M.I.A. entertainment company, label, production house. Introduce yourself and give us a little idea who Mimie Acosta is.
Well, my name is Minerva
Iris
Acosta. That's like the government name. But Mimie works for everyone, works for me. Dad gave me that name when I was little, and I just, grew up with it. Born and raised in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. My father was Puerto Rican. May he rest in peace. So I have that island thing going on, as far as being able to speak Spanish and have a Caribbean dialect and can maneuver back and forth from professional to the streets. But I'm at the age now where it's all professional, so that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay. So as an executive, what brought you to the entertainment industry?
Well, back in '85, I did a brow soda commercial. And it's really interesting because it was just a bunch of friends, and guy was passing by with, from Channel 8, and he was like, hey, where's your mom at? Spoke to my mom for a little bit. Next thing you know, I was in a pond with tadpoles coming out the water with brow soda in my mouth. I drank so much brow soda commercial, and then I decided that day, I was like, you know what, I think this is something that I would like. And my family come from the dancing world. My brothers used to break dance, so I come from dancing, singing, modeling. I did it all, karate classes, majorettes. My mom just had me in a little bit of everything. So when I graduated from high school and I moved to St. Thomas, I had a production company there. Lady Champagne Promotions was the name of my promotion company. I also had a radio show on Kiss 101.3 FM. I had a Lover's Lane radio show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I managed a nightclub called Club Millennium across from Niski. Everybody loved that nightclub. We used to have Spanish nights there on Sunday nights. So I was able to do a little bit for everyone in the community, because that's what I was all about. I was all about, if I'm going to make it for myself, I'm going to make it for everyone else. So whenever I would start working with an establishment, I would make sure that everything that I do, I invited the community. And of course, the name became, so when I go home now, it's, oh yeah, she's in town. Where's she at? Let's try to get her in the radio. Let's try to, do some commercials. Let's do something with her. Let's get her. And I was also a band chick. So I sang with Imaginations Brass, hardcore. I went from a 3-piece band to a 14-piece band. We traveled a lot. My guys loving me right now. Everything I do, whenever I go back home, they try to get me on stage. So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to give and to get. In this industry, sometimes for nothing. Because that works for me. It's a very spiritual thing. Everyone that I touch is blessed, and they chose to bless me in return, and here I am. When I got here, I started also working at Tyler Perry Studios. I did some stand-in work for Marlene Forte. Let me not mess up her name.
Yeah, on video.
Marlene Forte, exactly. House of Pain. I did all her stand-in work. And I also worked on different projects. I was in M.I.A Goes to Jail. I was one of the inmates back and forth with M.I.A. So I went from there. Working behind the scenes there is what led me to want to do my own company. And I started out with 88 Fingaz. That's my business partner. We did the Hot Boys of Atlanta. That is something that we did there in 2013. And that was kind of like testing the waters. But of course, after 130 views on YouTube, 130,000 views, we were like, okay, it looks like this is going to catapult into something bigger. And of course, throughout the years, we've worked on different projects, because I'm in TV and, he's in music. So we did a bunch of different things, and then we decided to get back together, connected with OG Cookie in LA, and, we decided to put this partnership together and keep it moving. So now we have all these artists that are with us. We're starting to do shows. They came from doing different things too. We have Isaac, he's into modeling and he does promotions, he does shows, he does everything as well. So it's all about having different people under the umbrella. So when we walk into a building, there's all these different avenues for us. And I'm so proud of that, because it's the one thing that I always wanted to be able to do, is to get everyone that we have under the umbrella, be able to go into film, be able to go into music, be able to, you know, get called for a little bit of everything. There is nothing that you can't call us and say you want and you're not going to get.
So
almost.
Hey.
I need some strippers. No, that wouldn't be M.I.A. So yes, there are limits.
So a full service entertainment company, not just a label, but
exactly,
you know, you're able to,
a full service production company.
Okay, you're able to house everything. You're like in motion to be some CAA kind of stuff.
You know what?
Yes.
I claim it all.
Okay.
I actually claim it all. There's no one that I look down at in the industry. It's like we're all professionals in this. You know, everybody has something different to bring to the table, whether it's something as minute as picking up a chord, you know, to being the director, to, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot in our circle, and I value everything. I don't take anything for granted.
Okay. All right. How did the partnership between you and 88 really first kick off, and what do you see as the largest benchmarks since you've come together to this day?
Well, when we first got together, we were at a open mic. Carolo was, you know, directing the entire project. You know, who's on the mic? You know, and him and I connected immediately on business. You know, we spoke for a little bit that night, and we hadn't spoken at least for about a year after that. And one day he calls me and he's like, "Hey, Mimie, this is 88 Fingers, and we're all on social media." So of course we've connected there several times, and you know, he told me that, you know, "Hey, look, I've got a project I think you might be interested in. You know, I have a partner that came in from Jersey, you know, via LA, you know, and we're trying to put something together, and we need your input because you're on the TV side of things while we're on music." So when I was invited out to the meeting, we spoke a little bit about the Hot Boys of Atlanta. That's kind of like, you know, where it all started. And it started out with the three of us doing the partnership for that. But of course, in this industry, things do happen. So, you know, when I registered the show, you know, I found out that one of our partner, not one of, it's only three of us, but our partner, which, you know, I was brought to the situation, he decided to try to register the show behind our backs, and one thing became another. And we decided to squash it, but we had already, you know, we had started shooting, we did everything with it, you know, we're ready to take it to the network, we have network interest, and then he decides to let us know, "Hey, look, I registered the show already, what are you doing?" And it became brand new to me. And then is when I figured out, you know what, this has to be that thing that everybody talks about, that it's only a matter of time before, you know, when you climb up the ladder and you come to that door, before you knock on the door, you know, then nobody's gonna answer it because somebody in the team is shady. So we got the shadiness and we got it out the way, but by that time, you know, VH1 had already, you know, gotten it, and some of the other networks got it, and we decided to pull the plug and put a hold on it, so it's actually shelved at VH1. And with that being said, I'm glad that it was, because as a result of that, we had Christinia DeBarge, you know, we had names on that reality show. And everybody loves Mimie and 88, you know, till they're like, "Mimie, look, whenever you guys decide to do something again, please call us, we'd love to be a part of it," you know. But because of the things that he did in the circle, it tarnished a couple of people, and they decided they don't want to work with him, and if we're working with him, they're out, you know. But here we are again, you know, like I said, you know, we've taken time apart. You know, he's had 88 has had another partner that was basically on that same wavelength, and we had to get rid of that too. You know, sometimes in this industry, you have to get rid of people to make things happen. When he came out here, that was kind of like the time for us to detox and regroup, and he did that. He came here to LA, he established relationships, you know, met up with OG Cookie, you know, and he brought Cookie to the table and, "Hey, Mimie, this is where we need to be." So of course, you know, Mimie is gonna do her due diligence, and I love Cookie. I mean, he's been nothing but the truth since I've met him. And when you feel that spiritual connection, you know, and he wants nothing but the best for the team, and then you come to 88 and I, who are already spiritual as well, oh yeah, Mimie Acosta does have her days and she does have her potty mouth. I will be the first one to say yeah, she got a potty mouth. But at the end of the day, before that last minute of the midnight hour, I'm gonna pray about it. I take it all to God, you know, dump the bad stuff, pick up on the good stuff, and when the clock turns over, I keep it moving. You know, a brand new day, brand new start. So I'm excited. Talk
about your specific function within the core of M.I.A.
I do everything.
No, I can vouch. She does quite a bit.
Yeah,
she take care of everybody.
There is no specific function. You know, we put our meetings together at the beginning of the day, and we decide what is it that everybody needs to do. But before you know it, I'm the one who's making the phone calls and making it all happen, because, you know, 88 might be dealing with the artists and where everybody's at and their minds and their, you know, because things happen with artists overnight. You know, some can just lay it down, go to sleep, wake up the next day, keep it moving. And then you have others that, you know, need more attention, or, you know, they need to detox, or so he does that. He kind of like entertains their minds, and we're right, exactly. And then I'm on the other side with either the female artists or making appointments, making sure things are done. You know, who needs a disclosure, who do I need to email, who needs that text attention. You know, so I do a lot of the booking and making sure that it all happens, and making sure that whatever it is we have going on starts on time. So we have a very good partnership, because there is there's no specific function for anyone. If I missed out on something, I'll hit up 88, hey, do me a favor, call this person right quick. And he doesn't think twice about doing anything for me either. You know, or if Cookie needs to do something out here in LA, we'll call him, get him involved, and he'll call the person. So nobody has a specific function. We do it all together. You know, so what happens is they dump everything on me, and then I might delegate, but then I might end up picking it back up and run with the ball. So we all work well together.
So the circle starts with Mimie, kind of.
We all bounce off each other.
Probably will end with Mimie.
More than likely.
On the execution tip.
On the execution tip,
once everything has been thought out, the think tank has done their thing and approved, and then she says, okay, I know how to get it done. Get out of my way.
Yes, basically. Yeah. And when things are thrown out, they're not just thrown out to say, okay, this is something we're thinking about. I write everything down, because 3 hours from then, 88 will ask me, hey, remember when I asked you about earlier? What about that? Oh yeah, I got this done. You know, so I pick up on everything, and I do it all. And it's nothing for me.
Wow.
I'll make it happen. It's, you know, I love my team. You know, I love my artists. You know, like I said before, some are a little bit more needy than others. So I kind of like run with the needy ones, and I'm like the mama of everybody, regardless of the age. I run with everyone, and you know, babysit and make sure they're taken care of, because when they get on that stage, they got to get on there with the clean mindset to perform, and perform well, to give it their 100.
That's awesome. All right. So obviously you discussed with me, you know, one of the big shocks to you when it actually happened to you. You heard about the disloyalty and all that good stuff. I mean, close out with something that we're talking about, team, and being able to vet who's working with you, and how to keep your cool instead of give them the Boston stomp.
Okay, well, I am very, very good at dropping people off when they're disloyal to me. Because my thing is, if you do it one time, you are going to do it again. Period. There is no, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen again, and it doesn't happen. That's not true. It might come at a very small level, but the smallest level of disloyalty can create something very, very big and very negative. So I don't entertain it. I forgive, I don't forget, I move on. And I'm going to say the name because it is what it is. You know, Santiago and I, up to the other day, you know, we spoke because we lost one of our girls in the industry, you know, Vanity. And I had the pleasure of meeting Vanity. Wonderful woman, may she rest in peace and, you know, reign in God's heavens. So we had a little conversation, and we don't talk business anymore, to say the very least. You know, we speak about where he is, how he's doing, how I'm doing, you know, how the kids are, etc. And we keep it very professional, you know. And I'm going to say this for the record. I would work with Santiago again. I would. I would not be a partner in anything, in any way, because I know what he is capable of doing in business. But I could be on the screen with him again. You know, we have a reality show right now that we're putting together as a result of this trip for M.I.A. And he's going to more than likely be a part of that, because we're talking about the Hot Boys of Hollywood now. And because of his disloyalty, you know, he needs to come around the circle so he can meet some of the people that he has common interests with. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you know.
Reality Hot Boys of LA.
The Hot Boys of
Hollywood or LA?
Well, the Hot Boys of Hollywood, the Hot Boys of LA, we'll figure it out. But in any event, that's what it's gonna be. Because we have a lot of good talent. So after you know, a period of time, you know, like I said, there's drama and then there's non-drama. With everything, there's drama. You know, what we are showcasing with this reality show is the real behind the scenes, the real true meaning of what it feels like to be behind the scenes of the music industry. I mean, and we're talking about from engineers, who nobody talks about, producers, nobody really talk about the producers. Everybody wants to talk about the artists, what they're wearing, how they performed, who they're sleeping with, who they had a child with, etc., who beat up who, all that. We need to start from scratch. Where was the artist developed? You know, where were they discovered? You know, their family, their backgrounds, their grind. You know, getting in the studio for the first time. You know, going from just being a tomboy to being a glamour girl. I mean, just the real behind the scenes, and we have that in our core. So we've chosen to start from that, you know, and give everyone the credit, because credit is due from the artists to the engineers to the producers to, you know, even some of the studio owners, you know, and their staff, and not getting the food in on time, or dropping a plate walking in the door, or, you know, there is so many elements to the entertainment industry and what makes the real making of an artist. You know, so that's what this is going to showcase. I don't really care to know who's sleeping with whose husband or wife, and all the fights and all the catness. I'm not into all that. But I have to give it to all the other reality shows for what they stand for, because everybody has their own dream or their own vision for their own projects. So I have to respect that. I'm not here to talk about anybody's projects, because I respect all these different directors and, you know, in the industry. So this is just something that we chose to go a different route, and I just, you know, hope and pray that it comes to fruition and it plays out well for all of us.
Will we see a pilot or a trailer coming up soon on that?
You're gonna definitely see a trailer coming up soon. That is what I am presently working on the log lines and synopsis, and getting all the pictures and bios, and, you know, getting the package, because we already have investors that are interested. So we are running forward with it 100 miles a minute.
Shucky ducky. Yeah.
And I definitely need Hype Magazine to be a part of this. Period. I'm putting the disclaimer out from right now. You are like the first line in the little bit of the, you know, the sentence on the bottom of the commercial that says this is that. Yeah, you are the first line of the fine print. I definitely have to have Hype Magazine in this.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.